All right, I'm going to go through the solutions to part B, question 5, and point out common errors and some tricks to how it could be better in the future. Okay, this factorised question seemed to trick a few people. I suppose if you use PSF, the product is 4a squared b squared, and the sum is minus 4ab. The factors minus 2ab and minus 2ab are going to give you that. So I've got 4a squared minus 2ab minus 2ab plus b squared. So if I take out 2a as a factor, I'm left with 2a minus b. And if I take out b minus b, I'm left with 2a minus b. So it's 2a minus b squared, because I've got one there and one there. I get used to seeing if it's squared at the front and squared at the end, squared at the front and squared at the end, that it might be a minus b all squared business. So to look for that to start with, and the fact that it was only worth 1 mark, I certainly would have been looking for that. Okay, this question here we can solve through factorising or the quadratic formula. People unfortunately got to this step here and forgot the word solve and didn't finish it off. So that's where people lost marks. I think the quadratic formula is very time consuming. I think if you can start dividing it up into PSF, then it's going to be a bit quicker for you. Okay, to simplify, this question wasn't done great. To simplify this first one here, and I'm going to come out here, 2 root 3 cubed, if I square it and times it by itself, that's going to help, because the squared number is going to get rid of this square root. So it's 2 squared is 4 times root 3 squared is 3 times 2 root 3. And the 27 is root 9 times root 3. So it's 3 root 3. So I've got 24 root 3 plus 3 root 3, which is 27 root 3. Now, people got in a pickle because they didn't separate the squared to start with. If you could simplify one of the surds correctly, then I gave you 1 mark. Okay, the cost of the bike was $149. This included 15 tax. 115% is equal to 449. If I find 1% by dividing by 115, I get 3.9043. Now, if they had said what was the tax, I could then times it by 15, but they actually said what was the original value, which is 100%. So it's 390.43 cents, but I want to 3 significant figures, so it's 390. Now, I took marks off if you didn't get 3 significant figures. Rearrange the formula to make y the subject. I'm going to do it, so don't worry about the answers. If I times by x minus 1, most people got this. So I've got yx minus y equals x plus 2. Now let's keep our eye on the prize. Our prize is x equals something. So let's get all the x's on one side. Move this x over here and move the y on this side. If I factorise and then divide, I'll get y plus 2, y minus 1. And that's keeping your eye on the prize. What am I after? I'm after x on its own. Well, how do I get that? I try and get x on one side, and then I'll have to factorise it to get it on its own. Okay, solve simultaneously. This was done quite well, and most people got the the question. The problem people had is they didn't write it in as a point. People just left it as x is 2, y is 6. When it's x and y, don't forget it can be plotted on the Cartesian plane, so we would write it as 2, 6 minus 1, 3. I'll do the question for you. If you make 1 equal to 2 and get it all on one side, then you can factorise and solve it through. Okay, the last question. All right, when we get a question like this, it wants the number plus everything under the square root sign. People could rationalise the denominator, but were unaware of how to really finish it off. And the finish off should be a equals something, b equals something. I'll do the question for you. 1 plus root 7 on 3 minus root 7. I need to times it by 3 plus root 7. Don't forget this is 2 things in brackets times by 2 things. People made that mistake. Do FOILs if you're not sure. So it's 3 plus 3 root 7 plus root 7 plus 7 over 9 minus 7. Square the first, square the last. So I've got 10 plus 4 root 7 on 2. Now this upset me a lot when people did this. 4 into 2 goes 5. You can't do that unless you do it to both things. It's like taking 2 out as a common factor. Excuse me, before we factorise it. So that's where people got into a pickle, and that's sort of a rookie error. So make sure you factorise. If you're not sure, can you take it out the front? If yes, what are you left with? Oh, sorry. You should be left with 2. I was in mid-sneeze then. Okay, so I'm left with 5 plus 2 root 7. Well, A is 5. That's nice. B is not 2 root 7. B is root 4 times root 7, which is root 28. It wanted it all under the square root in that form. Sorry about that interruption. If I had have made paused it, I'd have to make the whole video again. I hope that clarifies it for you. People tended to do really well. I'm not worried about anyone changing courses. I think we're travelling really well at this stage. So keep up the good work.